Want Redfall to fail by releasing it to Xbox consoles in a locked 30 frames per second. Spider-Man 2 may be a Spiderverse game. Media Molecules Dreams is ending support for the game this year. And is Coruscant an explorable world in Jedi Survivor? All this and more on this week's episode of Checkpoint. And we are live.
Welcome back to Checkpoint, brought to you by Strictly Casual, your number one show, bringing you important news and breaking down the biggest stories in the gaming industry. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Jams Walmer, with the spiciest meatball in gaming. You know him, you love him, Vincent DeSantis. Thank you, audio listeners. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/strictlycasual. Please hit us with a rating on audio platforms and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. What else is going on the channel, Vincent? We got a lot of reactions going live this
Ryder
week.
did a couple of reactions.
What else?
He did one for Ahsoka and one for the new Indiana Jones trailer, as well as we just released our second interview from WonderCon with Joanne Higginbottom, who is the composer. She worked on the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, as well as the John Wick franchise and other things like that. So very, very cool. Some cool insights on that. And fun. She was great. She was tons of fun. Great to interview. So check that out on the channel. That's it. That's what's going on right now.
All right. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Let's get into the meat.
Let's jump right in. We're going to start off with a little bit of a smaller story that will affect few, I think. Which is, I mean, okay, I wish it affected more people. Let's just say it that way, because I wish PlayStation chose to put Dreams on PC, because I feel like that would be a really cool tool to play with on PC. But this comes from IGN. Dreams live support will end later this year. In a post to the Dreams website, Media Molecule explained that live service will end September 1st, 2023, along with the end of any updates. The studio is also bringing events such as DreamsCon. I didn't know DreamsCon was a thing. All Hallows Dreams and the Impy Awards to a close. The Impy's like your little cursor, I think. It's like.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I had no idea what it was.
Quote, "We're proud of Dreams and grateful for the way you, the community, have embraced all it has to offer," said Media Molecule in the post. Whilst we've always had the desire to build on the foundation of Dreams and expand the experience, when reviewing our plans, we were not able to define a sustainable path. We made the decision to change the studio product strategy. This is obviously disappointing to many people in and outside of Media Molecule. However, we are incredibly excited for what will come next. What else do we have?
While active development on Dreams will finish, it does seem as if Media Molecule intends to support Dreams in other ways in the future. The post promises that we will continue to share and celebrate creations and Dreams with the wider world on our social channels, our streams, Insider roundups, and more. In-game curation will continue, ensuring that the most interesting creations are promoted to the community. This change comes as Media Molecule works to, quote, shift our focus to an exciting new project, unquote. What that new project has yet to be detailed. We're not ready to talk about it at this stage, but stay tuned for more information on the future. The studio has confirmed that the project is not Dreams 2 nor part of the Dreams IP. Now, keep in mind, Media Molecule comes from Little Big Planet. So, Vincent, do you think this is going to be another Little Big Planet title? Or you think no? They said it's a new. I think it's going to be a new thing. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. Well, one, I think it's pretty clear that it's not Dreams 2, even though they said it. You know, it's like you wouldn't end support for a game that would be like you wouldn't make a sequel of a game you're going to end. I guess that's kind of where I fall. It would be really cool. I would love to have a Final Dreams update be like, oh, upgrade for the PS5. Like, here's some tools. Like, just play with it. Maybe the servers go down, but you can still play.
Well, that could still happen. It says the support will end later this year. We still have time between now and then.
Yeah, and what does support mean? Does it just mean new updates and stuff, or does it mean like?
I think it just means new updates,
which is fine then. I mean, it's not. It sucks, but that's the cycle. Like the studio has to move on to do whatever's next anyway, eventually. So, I do wish it came to PC. We saw so many cool creations in Dreams when that baby came out. You know, I just don't think it had wide appeal.
See, the issue I always had with Dreams wasn't the tools or the community or like I love the scope, but everything looked the same on Dreams in a certain way. Like there's certain the brushes, the tools,
Sure.
you could tell everything was a part of dreams, and I guess that's a way of, that comes with it to let people know that like
Yeah.
you made this in dreams. But also I think it's could in some ways be limiting of like, okay, everything ends up being in the dream style. Like I'm thinking
Yeah.
about that Avatar game that was like, kind of huge,
Worked on for a
there's
long
the
time. Yeah.
whole worked on for a really long time, but I'm like at the end of the day it feels like I'm still playing dreams.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I think for a tool like dreams to be as far reaching and as dynamic as possible, I think it needs to be able to go outside of itself in terms of style and allow
Yeah.
creators to give their creations, their projects, unique looks to the person and at least look the way they want it to.
Yeah. I I think this is interesting because I don't like the ease of, I don't know how to say this, game development. Difficult
Yeah,
task. A lot of moving parts,
very very
a
difficult
lot going on.
task. Yeah.
Okay. There's a reason people
Hmm.
get paid good money to make video games. It's not an easy thing you can just pick up and do. Unreal Engine, I feel like every year Unreal is releasing something that makes it easier and easier to kind of get onboarded with basics. I'm not saying you're going to be able to
I
bust
know
out
where
the
you're
gate.
going with this. I know where you're going with this,
You're not going to be
Vincent.
able to bust out the gate making the next Call of Duty or nothing, but I think in a couple years of time, Unreal Engine, it's not going to have like a PlayStation program that you can open up and make games or anything. But I think it will,
No,
if you are interested in the game creating process, um, there are going to
I think
be
it's going to be that easy.
easier ways to download that, jump in and just try something
Yep.
out with
Yep.
their pre-made projects or stuff like that that you could alter into your own. Um, the only thing that I'll give, not the only thing that I'll give Dreams. I give Dreams a lot. I think Dreams is really cool.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that Dreams introduces like they have like what do you call them? Not base like presets for game mechanics, whereas that's like the cool
Mm-hmm.
thing that you can bring into whatever your creation is and things just work. Like you apply something to your character, you apply something to this block or whatever, and it just starts working.
Right.
Whereas Unreal, I don't think they have that sort of preset drag and
It's
drop to
getting
it,
there.
but it
It's getting
is
there.
getting there. Yeah.
Right. Like I think that was the big thing about the lighting engine for a long time. Like when we first saw Unreal Engine 5,
Yeah, Lumen.
being able to just yeah, when we first saw Lumen and it's saying, "Hey, you want a light to work the way lights work?"
Here it
It
is.
just does.
Yeah.
It just does. When you
To-
drop that light in and it's going to behave like a goddamn light.
Did you see any of the games developer conference, like their big press thing?
No, I didn't,
They
unfortunately.
they showed a tiny little pre-made world that someone like a developer created where they could drive a truck around, and it was like a realistic lifelike thing, and they were just driving a truck in a circle sort of thing. And they're
Yeah.
like, they looked at this spot in the clearing of the forest, and they're like, this should be another road, like we would want the player to go down this road or whatever to find this area. And so they have this like computer learning thing that they can just draw with like a pen, like that they want a road there, and then it creates what the road would look like based on what they've already created. And all they would have to do
Holy
is like
shit.
fine tune some stuff, put a rock there to make it look like more realistic. It was insane. And then they tried that with just scribbling, like just scribbled around, and it created this like massive world in like seconds, and it was running on like a
Wow.
3080. They're like trying to show that you don't have to have like insane technology for like Unreal to do this. It is
See,
so nuts.
I think that's where AI design is really exciting because I think it
Yeah.
can really improve that ease of use to where it's the training wheels to where
Yeah.
if you just want things to work and like you so you don't have to be bogged down by all the weeds of oh this technical like I have to script this thing to do
Right.
this thing in order for this to happen. It takes a lot of that busy work out and if you want to like fine tune it, I think where it's going is like you can take those training wheels off bit by bit
Yes.
to sort of fine tune those aspects
Yeah.
of what you really want out of it. But I think for the person who's really like game development's scary and technical, but I want to make a game. Like I
Right.
have this
Yeah.
idea and I think it'd be incredible to I have this vision for it. I think AI and machine learning is super beneficial for
Totally.
this reason. And
It,
I think it's like you said, Vince, it's only going to get easier and easier for people to like get into the world into
yeah.
this world.
And I know there's a big scare of like, oh, AI is going to take these developers' jobs and stuff, and
Jobs, yeah.
there's truly, it's not. It is not
No,
right now.
because at the end of the day, like this is what I think. At the end of the day, game developers are artists.
Totally. They
Every single one of these people as an artist with artistic visions, and
yeah,
I don't think a machine
it's gonna
can't. I
replicate
mean,
that.
this gets in. I don't think it's going to replicate that. It's not going to have the
Not yet.
writer's intent. I know, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
this
it's
is when
crazy.
we get into like a Blade Runner
Yes.
scenario. You
Same.
know, are machines more human than humans?
Yeah.
Um, but like I think for now, at least, it's just not at that point yet. And I think it'd be interesting to see like what AI's like interesting creative takes on things are,
Hmm.
and I
Yeah.
allow that to interact with artists' visions for things. But artists are artists; they have their own
Totally.
visions for what they want to create, and AI is a tool to achieve that
Definitely.
vision
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah. I'm with it. I'm with that for sure. Um,
Wow,
yeah.
didn't think we'd be talking about AI
Jump in.
with this.
Jump into Unreal Engine. Like if you're someone listening to this, they're interested, download and see what kind of like
I
tutorials they
might
have on there.
download
It's
Unreal
really
Engine.
cool. It's really cool. I
Yeah,
remember when they released the metahumans or whatever they called them.
yeah, I remember that.
And I kind of played around with some facial features. Now I think I broke it. Like I wasn't quite advanced enough to like know what I'm doing or anything in there.
Hmm.
And at one point they didn't work, and I wasn't sure what I did. But really cool to mess around with it, at least for a little while. Um, yeah, James, I want to jump into another little small topic here before we get into our big clip.
Before the clip.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we got a final gameplay trailer this week for Jedi Survivor, and James, you seem pretty stoked about it.
I'm so stoked. Do you want to get into this little IGN article about it? Is that what
Yeah,
this is about? Okay.
segueing in.
Yeah. Yeah. Segueing in. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Wait, do you want to tell do you want me to
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about my
Tell me.
impressions
Yeah,
first?
I want to hear it.
God, dude, I'm so excited for this fucking game.
Yeah,
I'm so excited for this fucking game. I don't know what it is. I can't pin it on a thing. It's not even like I honestly could care less about the story. I don't know
interesting.
why.
Yeah,
I just want to I just want the I just love the style and the theme and the like the world
yeah.
around Star Wars, but as a Souls game.
Hmm.
And I love the gameplay. I think the gameplay is what really did it for me here, and seeing all the force powers that Cal uses, even though a
Yeah,
lot of them are probably in canned animations.
sure.
I think like it's just really cool because you look at Cal in this trailer and you see he is powerful. You're like,
Yeah,
oh, this dude is strong as fuck.
yeah,
And I can't wait to see because I think they're gonna do. I mean, hopefully they'll do a really good job at scaling that and allowing you to feel powerful, but also like it's great being powerful and then having super powerful enemies who
right.
are like, oh fuck. Like I'm gonna have to get creative with how I use this power to really defeat them.
We're on the precipice of two major sequels, Survivor and Tears of the Kingdom, where you both get
Yeah.
powerful by the end of the game. How are they going to bridge that to the beginning of the game? And it's going to be super interesting how both do it because they're going to do it differently. They're going to do it very differently.
Yes.
But we do know that
Totally.
Jedi Survivor is 5 or 4 years after the first game, and that you will start with the powers that you had. Um, and it'll just kind of not teach you again, like yeah, tutorial you again pretty much, but you'll
I
have
mean,
them.
yeah.
They have to. But basically, in the trailer, there's a little section where Cal is fighting on Coruscant, and which is
Hmm.
really interesting. And we got some details from that as well. James, what do we have?
Star Wars Jedi Survivor director Stig Asmussen has revealed that's a cool ass name.
Yeah.
Has revealed Coruscant to be one of the planets featured in the sequel, though it may not be a fully explorable open world area. Sharing the news at Star Wars Celebration not long before he released the final gameplay trailer for Jedi Survivor, Asmussen confirmed Coruscant was in the game. He says, we're taking our Metroidvania approach a step further, and just to talk about another planet, we're going to have Coruscant as well. I think there's been a lot of speculation on that, and I'm just confirming it here. Though Asmussen did talk about Coruscant in a conversation about the larger explorable areas included in Jedi Survivor, EA Star Wars Communications lead Andy McNamara seemed to pull back expectations a bit on Twitter. What did he say, Vincent?
Said, quote, to be clear, Stig never claimed Coruscant was a freely explorable open world, as one Twitter account claimed. He only confirmed it as one of the destinations in the game, McNamara said.
Mm,
Quote, Survivor has amazing planets to explore in our biggest environments to date, but wanted to be clear on what was said. It's therefore unclear how much Coruscant will feature in Jedi Survivor. It could be as open a world or area as the other locations, or it may just be a featured part of one particular story mission, like the final area in Jedi Fallen Order.
That's what I was thinking of. That's exactly where my mind went. Was that final mission in Jedi Fallen Order where you're on Mustafar?
Here's what I'm imagining, dude.
Okay.
So we have this like High Republic character, blah 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 blah, and he looks
Yeah.
evil. I don't know, like he's come back and he's like seen the world.
He
Who
seems
knows?
antagonistic. Yeah.
Final fight, the ruins of the Jedi Temple in Coruscant. Uh, it would be the coolest thing ever. That would be so awesome. Oh
Yeah.
man,
That'd be so sick.
dude, talk about enemy variety in this game too. I'm
Yeah.
replay. I
A lot of them.
didn't replay, but I got the platinum, like did
You
all
got
the
the
extra
platinum.
stuff in Fallen Order,
Hmm.
and I was kind of the enemies are repetitive. There's a couple specific per planet, but it's the same. You got the rocket trooper, the regular trooper, and then the jetpack trooper.
Yep.
And they're just everywhere, which it didn't really bother me when I was playing it. But then playing through it again, I was like, oh, seeing the trailer for Survivor, we have the battle droids now, like all this.
Yep.
This is so fun, so fun. In
I
addition to all the
love
things,
having a lot of enemy variety. I think that's one of
yeah,
the biggest things I look for in a game is, are there going to be enemies that force me to play differently?
right. And I hope this is that. I want this game to be damn near perfect, James. I'm really hoping.
I do
I'm
too.
really hoping it's incredible.
It's shaping up. It's shaping up, Vin.
It's had
It
the
really is
delays for the
shaping up.
polish that the first game didn't have.
Yeah.
Uh, God, the mechanics. I mean, the gameplay has to be good, and the story's got to be pretty good for it to get a great review.
Yeah. The story's really got to be pretty good. I'm curious to see if it takes a lot from its Souls counterparts, especially with this game, with fast travel and things like
Yeah,
that.
thank God.
I wonder if they're going to lean into environmental storytelling a little bit more
So
with this game.
you can go places faster and look at things.
Yeah, because you go places faster, but also like that's a very big Souls hallmark that I wonder
Sure.
if they're going to continue to draw and just get a little bit more bounty points
Yeah.
from Souls players.
Yeah. What did like?
So, for example, like having there isn't really loot or gear, so maybe yeah, there is actually a lot of loot and gear. So maybe like every single thing you pick up has like a little description that has like
Sure.
a little
Yeah.
bit of lore attached to it. Like
Right.
instead of just having a nod through a design choice, it would be a little more on the nose of like, hey, is um this like pays homage to the 501st or
Yeah.
something like
Right.
that, you know.
Oh man. Oh, dude. Okay.
But
Day
it wouldn't be
one.
like as big as like a cameo, but it would be like a
Yeah. Yeah.
nod. It'd be through text.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like this was it could be something that looks similar to like I'm thinking about Rebels right now because that's like close. I'm watching it and it's close to the story of
Yeah.
like Lothal's the big planet there, or Lothal.
Hmm.
And so you could have like let's say some sort of outfit that Cal can unlock that maybe looks similar to something that another character would wear, and it'd be like, oh, this is
Right.
a common garb worn on Lothal, and that's still like a nod to like the other characters, but it's not like
Right.
you could wear Ezra's tunic or whatever the crap. Like I don't
Yeah.
want any of that. Yeah,
Well, I think it would be like it pays homage to like it would say like a certain Jedi,
right. Yeah,
from Lothal or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Something where if you know, like you would read it and
If
be
you know,
like,
you
oh
know.
wow, yeah. Cannot wait,
I mean, I
James.
think it could. I think it could directly name drop and be like, this pays
Sure.
homage to like, and I think that would still be cool. I think it adds a
Yeah.
little bit more mystery, more of like a if you know
Right.
to it. If it kind of left it vague, but
It is going to be torturous when this game comes out, and I won't be able to play it for 4 days after it comes out. It's gonna
God,
be
dude,
tough.
I think I'm gonna have to wait to buy it until after finals. I
Yeah.
think it's just because I have finals till May 11th,
Right.
and then May 12th, Breath of the Wild comes out.
Oh my God. You're gonna
I
double
know.
dip. You're gonna get both the best sequels this year so far. Just boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
God. Well, I can't wait. I'm sure that next week's episode we will have Jedi Survivor reviews, in which I'm super excited to talk about too. I like the good and the bad. I want to know. I want to know what we got here.
I want to know everything about this damn
Yeah.
game.
I think at this point, like I'm buying it, unless it's like horrible. But even in the previews, it's
But it
not.
really doesn't sound like
I
it's
don't think it can
horrible.
be.
Like all the previews are really positive.
Yeah, I think so too. James,
Then let's get into the clip.
I'm gonna launch you in. I'm gonna intro this and throw it to
Gonna
you.
launch me in.
Ready?
When you want, I can throw it to you after the
After the
tweet.
tweet. Perfect.
Yep.
All right. In 3, 2, one. Does Xbox want Redfall to fail? This comes from Forbes, our man Paul Tassi. James, what do we have?
Some tough news out of the Xbox camp that is going to be pretty hard to spin. When it debuts next month on May 2nd, after already being delayed out of last year, Redfall is launching only with 30 frames per second options across both Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X consoles. It's not a rumor. It was announced by the official Redfall account today on Twitter, saying Redfall is launching on Xbox consoles with quality mode only. On Xbox Series X, that means 4K with 30 frames per second. For the Xbox Series S, this means 1440p still with 30 frames per second. Now, 60 frames per second performance mode will be added via game update at a later date with no frame in mind. Vincent, what's next?
So basically, they say that 60 FPS performance mode is coming at a later date, but that later date's not given at all. It could be a week, it could be a month. If you're planning to play the game at launch like most fans are, you will be forced into the 30 FPS option, one that has become increasingly out of fashion, especially when playing on powerful next-gen console with a controller. Also, with Arcane's usually smooth combat, that feels like an additional factor that will make this feel worse. This comes from Paul Tassi. He says, I am half tempted to say that they should delay the game again until it can launch at 60 FPS performance mode, as you only get one chance to make a first impression, and 30 FPS on a shooter in 2023 on an Xbox Series X console, of all consoles, seems like a massive miss. While I've mostly liked recent footage I've seen of Redfall, which has sparked a lot of internet debates and fanboy wars, it simply will not feel good to play this at 30 frames per second after most other shooters these days are 60, and that's a fact. That's crazy. James, this is not the first game. This is not the first game even close to start releasing on these modern consoles with the expectation that they're going to be 60 frames per second, and they're not. We did a big video on Gotham Knights not being, because that turned me off from buying the game, let alone the reviews. Like, the big hit, and then the reviews came, and it was like, no shot. Remember, Plague's Tale Requiem also dropped. The first game got that update on PS5 or whatever, and it was able to play in 60 frames per second. But Requiem, the second game, launched on all these consoles in a locked 30 frames per second. Digital Foundry thinks that this is going to be more commonplace than we think. These next gen games launching at 30.
I hate that.
Tell me why.
Here's what I think. I'm really curious about the marketing for this.
Yeah.
Because you really need that initial push. You need those initial review codes to be good. But when I read launching at 4K 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second performance mode added later, this is what I envision happening. I already see the stars align in my head. This is what the stars are telling me. This is what my crystal ball says. They're telling me that this game is going to come out at a 7. This is going to be a very okay, specifically for this reason, specifically for the 30 frames per second.
Okay.
I think it's going to be pretty good in all the other respects, but 7s across the board, mainly due to this. And, there's all this discussion around it. Give it another 6 months just to fall into the radar. Mm-hmm. No one's really playing it anymore. Bad numbers.
Okay.
Not doing well. Big co-op game. People are not playing it. Then Xbox Game Pass comes in to save the day.
Yep.
And it says, we're adding it to Game Pass. And now that we've added it to Game Pass,
isn't it Game Pass Day 1?
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
I'm pretty sure. It has to
be. Okay. So if it wasn't coming to Game Pass Day 1, it comes to Game Pass 6 months later. But now that it's coming to Game Pass, now that it is accessible to everyone who is a Game Pass subscriber, now they add in the 60 frames per second mode. And then it's the second push. It's not the 1, but it's the 2
with
punch that comes in.
with some content.
With some added content.
Yeah.
Coming onto it's the revitalization. They're going for the underdog story that was No Man's Sky, that was all these other games. The initial release is not good, but they think they can turn it around. But at the end of the day, they shouldn't be doing this. I don't think they should be in that. They should put themselves in this position because I think that initial impression means so much. Just delay the damn game. Just delay the damn game. If it's a thing that you can get, if it's a thing that you can actually achieve, just push it.
Here's what it's got to be. I'm gonna relate it to Gotham Knights. There's a reason that Gotham Knights it wasn't 60 frames per second, and that is because with the untethered co-op, it was impossible to achieve that in the same world. Like you
Mm,
couldn't load a game world and have two players running 60 frames per second, like to load all of that data within the same area, I
yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
This has that combat in those bigger, or not combat, this has that co-op with those bigger spaces. Imagine if you're in completely different spots trying to load that very fast. Like, I don't really know. That could be the big
Mm,
reason. um it it's hard to say. Obviously we don't know the answer. I'm sure they know the answer why they can't. I don't think they'll be transparent on why. I think they'll have to stick their guns after this statement. This comes like, 15 days before the game launches. Gene Park even
yep.
says, this is super shocking because most of the preview and trailer footage has been in 60 frames per second, and it says playing on Xbox Series X or whatever. Xbox badly needs more W's, and this is not the one, he says.
I'm gonna follow this up with another Gene Park tweet that I
Yeah.
read this morning. It says 30 frames per second isn't a deal breaker for
Okay.
me either.
Yeah,
Like just to like frame where Gene Park is coming from. He says, I mostly play games on my Switch, the biggest and weakest console now.
totally.
This is just an L for Xbox because, and I think this is important, because it's marketed as being the most powerful,
Sure.
it being known as the shooter box. And shooters are better in 60 frames per
Yeah.
second.
I mean, I'm going to be hypocritical and 2 days after this game launches, I'm going to jump into 720, 25 frames per second Tears of the Kingdom on my Nintendo Switch.
Right,
And
right,
yeah, I'll complain a little bit, but I'll eat my words because
right.
it's all you can do.
It's not 30 frames per second for the sake of complaining about 30 frames per second.
Right, right.
It's because we're supposed to be playing on like the biggest, baddest hardware
Yeah.
that's out there right now. And so I think like my question for you now, Vincent,
Yeah.
is if this really is a hardware thing, is this the system seller for like the Series X Pro or
Oh,
the next console iteration as a whole?
I think this game has to be effing amazing to be a console seller, and I don't think it's going to be
No, I'm not talking about the
amazing.
game. I'm talking about the
Oh,
tech.
no.
If
If
this
they
is,
have to
do you think?
market the next generation of Xbox consoles to say, "Oh, we guarantee your games are going to be 60 frames per second." What does that mean? What is it? No,
Right,
there's no will. There's no goodwill. I don't know. They could just be saying that. They could be saying that. It's like my
right,
stupid PS5 box has the 8K thing on it. Every PS5 box. No games are playing in 8K. You joking my
no
ass?
fucking way,
No
no way.
shot. Yeah. The problem is that 60 FPS for PlayStation and Xbox should be expected for a lot of these
Yeah.
things. I understand there are cases where it can't be, and it's a bummer. It's a bummer. But we're
Hmm.
at the point where, like that, I feel like a freaking, I don't know, entitled gamer here saying all my games should be 60 FPS, and I really don't want to come across like that. But like, you can't
But
release a
are we at that
competitive
point?
shooter. You can't release a competitive shooter when like you've released shooters like in previous generations that have more frames than this. I don't know.
But aren't we at that point, Vincent? Would it be wrong for me to say that I expect games to have the option to be played at 60 frames per second? Now, it's one thing to say I expect an option for, and another thing to say I expect all games to run at 4K 60 frames. That's unreasonable. I
Yeah,
don't expect every game to run at 4K 60 frames. But for me to not even have the option to turn down my resolution
that's true.
to 1440 or 2K, and boost my frames, shouldn't that, like, I feel like that should be
I mean,
reasonable.
yeah. Thinking that this is like on Xbox Series X, you're locked in at 4K 30 frames per second. That means if, let's say, you don't have a 4K TV or anything either, let's say you could only have a 1080 monitor and you plug this in,
Right.
you're still locked at that 30 frames per second, baby. Like, you're not. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Uh,
Right.
yeah, it would be great to see even the Series X have I'll take a 1080 60 frames per second thing. Like,
That's
sure.
a deep cut. That's a deep cut.
I'm a performance mode every single time. I'm
I
always
am too.
performance mode. I'll
I am
switch it back
too.
and forth to like, let's say I see something cool. I'm like, oh, I bet this is the cool quality mode. I'll switch it over just to
Or
check
like
it
with
out.
ray tracing. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I'm playing the game in performance, and I would take the hit in resolution for sure.
Yeah. I think something that's also interesting is I wonder, someone on Twitter said, I wonder if they had analytics about how many people use quality mode over performance mode that maybe dictated this decision.
I,
Is there like, just, is it more popular to use quality mode and get the
I'll tell you
4K
why,
over why?
because it defaults to that, and a lot of people
Oh
don't
shit,
like.
yeah.
We talking a little bubble, a little bit. People that are
We do.
interested in gaming and interested in gaming news or what's going on in the gaming world, and people that maybe pay more attention than the average person to their video game. Uh,
Right.
I would say a lot of people don't know that that's even an option. They're just playing what they get out of the box. They don't know about the tuning, you know? I think
Right.
about going over to like cousin's house or even roommate playing
It's
Spider-Man.
about motion blur.
Well, motion blur, of course, I always turn off. You got to do the Lord's work, turn off everybody's motion blur. But no, I'm talking, they're playing Spider-Man, in the quality mode, and versus playing on a different console. They're like, I feel like Spider-Man's faster on the other console. As I'm
Yep.
like, well, you're playing at half the speed, basically. I mean, not really, but like
Yeah.
it feels like it. And you switch it, and it's an instant change. But people don't know that they can make that change unless they're very aware of games and aware of the development stuff that's
Right.
going
And I
on.
think we also have developed that hypersensitivity to frame rate differences.
It's weird. It is weird.
It's yeah.
So, guys, let us know in the comments what you think of this locked 30 frames per second. I am praying. Here's the deal. This is coming out just a couple weeks after Jedi Survivor and a couple days before Zelda. These are three huge games. Like
There's no way.
this is Xbox flagship game for like the first half of this year, right?
I mean, I will say that if it does launch on Game Pass, then I think that puts it in a somewhat of a unique position.
And it's gonna run 60 frames per second on PC.
Oh shit, yeah.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
If not, that'd be even a bigger problem, I think.
That would be a huge problem.
But this being like that Xbox exclusive, like that's what it's called. That's the title. It's Redfall, Xbox exclusive. Play on Game Pass, 30 frames per second
Yep.
on console. It's a bummer. It's a big hit. Let us know if you're gonna pick this up still on Series X of like playing in 30. Maybe it doesn't bother you, which is totally cool. I'm not trying to yuck your yum. If you want to play this in 30 frames per second, God bless you. But
Yeah.
yeah, let us know what you think. I would like to try this. I don't have an Xbox right now, so if I do, it'll be on Game Pass on PC. So it'll be a different experience. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this, you can listen to the entire podcast. You can go on all audio platforms, type in Strictly Casual Checkpoint, and this is episode 157, titled Redfall 38 FPS Dreams Support Spiderverse and Spider-Man 2 and a lot other things. Or if you want to watch the entire podcast, you can go on youtube.com/strictlycasual, become a member, and watch it live. And that's all. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Just like that.
Peace out. Boom. We got one more big story for you guys.
One more big schmackaroni. Is Spider-Man 2 for PS5 a Spiderverse game?
Is
This comes from, I don't know. This comes from Hip Hop Gamer and Arkham Numb, two people I've never heard before.
Guys, I want to stress that this is in grain of salt. This is not in the
yeah,
news.
yeah, this is a grain of
rumor
salt.
watch.
This is not
Yeah.
a story. This is rumor watch. Bow bow bow.
Yeah.
It says I can confirm from the legendary Insomniac games will feature and build upon the Ratchet and Clank world shifting. So Spider-Man 2 will build upon Ratchet and Clank world shifting, meaning get ready for the next level of what a multiverse looks like in #gaming. Also, graphically and gameplay wise, this is the most open and fluid experience you will see so far this generation. Before other outlets steal this content and claim they broke it, look at this video link so you can know who's been breaking Spider-Man 2 stories before everyone else.
There's a link. I clicked it. It's a video. It's just this guy with, a 720p webcam, just completely white room. Could be an insane asylum. I don't know. Just talking and then just like really intensely talking to the camera. God bless him.
There's Let's see, going on to what Arkham Numb says, he said, this is actually insane because the events of Spider-Geddon comic run as well across the Spider-Verse could be canon to this game. Someone says Spider-Man, this is Average Ohioan on Twitter, says Spider-Man being almost totally defined by the multiverse now is a disastrous step for the character, and I kind of agree.
That tweet was how I found all this. Like I didn't see any of these tweets first without this guy saying it would be disastrous.
Did I send that in? Was that me or was that you?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I think I sent it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, go ahead.
This is fascinating. As sort of like an observation, at least, every single Spider-Verse trailer that we have seen so far for Across the Spider-Verse has a PS5 like splash screen at the end. Every single one. It's crazy. Um,
Well,
and even there's Insomniac Spider-Man in the trailer
yeah,
multiple
yeah.
times, even a close-up
Mm-hmm.
with him in the latest trailer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I This is a compelling rumor. At least I think that the idea of
Yeah.
switching worlds, Ratchet and Clank style, because that is very cool. That is a awesome use of the technology, and I think it's so cool for a story perspective. I don't want this at all for
I don't
Spider-Man
want
2.
this. It
No.
makes it. I mean, we're talking about this. This almost goes into the conversation of like cameos. We were talking about this in Star Wars earlier this week, but I think it allowing a story to stand on its own and allowing it to be its own thing
Yeah.
without the multiverse is really like it can feel like, oh my God, here's this, here's this,
Sure.
here's this, here's this. And I think I don't know if there's I
But
think the game was able to do this like through the suits really well, like
yeah,
paying
yeah.
attention to those nods, but like I don't know, it can just get so big that it can be hard for it to really find
Here's the
itself.
thing. I think if a game delivers a game story, whatever the hell it is, delivers like some sort of emotional earned moment in a game, that is going to stick with me
Mm-hmm.
longer than being like, oh my god, it's Peter Parker from
Totally.
this and this. Sure, it's a cool moment. It's a cool moment, whatever.
Right.
When it's earned, it feels great to have that, whatever. But like that gets in the way of these like top tier, or what you would what people, these critically acclaimed games. Like the minute you start
Yeah.
throwing this in, it becomes that, and not um not that everything has
In
to
an
be like,
unflattering way.
yeah, not everything has to be a, I don't
A
know,
spectacle.
spectacle, or and not everything has to be like a critically acclaimed, I'm going for game of the year this year. Like not everything has to be like that, but what is it? Because Spider-Man 1 had a great emotional story, and it was kind of tied together. It was
So
very good.
good.
I think
I
it
almost cried
nailed
at the
it.
end.
It really nailed it. And this feels like, oh, if we're going to introduce a bunch of characters, I don't really know how you can create that story. Now, I've been proven wrong. Let's look at the first Spider-Verse movie. It is very
It's
much,
so good.
it is so good. And there's all these different characters in there. And it still has a fantastic story, and it's really great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That seems like they've broken that mold, that formula. So I'm open to be broken for it again. But off the top of my
Yeah.
head, this sounds like not a great idea based on the first game. But also, Spider Verse was built to be that, whereas Spider Man was something, or Spider Man the game was something else, and is becoming the multiverse thing. If this is true, which is different.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. But the idea that you can just swing into a new world would be awesome technology. Like it would be so cool.
From the technology perspective
Yeah.
alone, it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, Ratchet and Clank was seamless, and it was uh, very very cool. One of the cooler PS5 things they've done. I would say top
It's
three.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Insomniac to bring that in a bigger,
And also,
crazier
but
world.
also, I want to remind us that with Ratchet and Clank, like this isn't meant to mean like you can go to any world at any time,
No.
because that wasn't the case in Ratchet and Clank. Is like whenever the narrative says you can, it's very
Yes.
structured around that. It gives you specific opportunities to do so,
Yes. There
and I
are.
think they can do that well with like level design. And like I can imagine like going through, like I imagine going through a corridor in like a big skyscraper building and go through these floors, and every floor you
Yeah.
like go through a different world, and like every floor of the skyscraper looks different
Yeah.
in each world.
That'd be
And I
cool.
think that's cool. It's
Yeah.
just cool, like it's in a way that feels unique, and it's not like tethering itself too much to one world, or like it's not
Right.
tethering itself too much to the world to give it it's like to give it the thing, to give
Yeah.
it the personality, to give it the it's still a gimmick, but it's a good gimmick.
Yeah. Right. It'll be interesting to see. This game comes out this year. We still haven't heard anything about it. There is a state of play today, James, but it is a Final
You're right.
Fantasy 16. They've said that that's all it's going to be, which I'm sure it will be. That sounds about
Yeah.
right. Um,
Hmm.
but I can't wait to know whatever the heck is next for this game. I don't think they would keep it a secret that long if it is a multiverse esque game. I feel like that is a seller. That's a selling point to it.
Yep.
Um, yeah, should be interesting.
Yep. Maybe like it'd be kind of fun.
Hmm.
This is just a creative way to go about this. What if you had to like earn your skins?
Tell me
What if you
how.
had to like for every skin that you want, you go into the world of that Spider-Man and you do like a specific task?
That'd be awesome. That'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Imagine like 50 times. Maybe that would be like
Maybe like
cool for like some like end game skins or something. Like
yeah.
you got to go back
Yeah.
and do this like quest line with this Spider-Man to get this. Could be awesome.
Well, maybe it would. Well, I don't think it would be I don't think it would go out of your way. I think
Okay.
as the game like takes you through it,
Mm,
I mean, in the first game did this too, where like as you progress through the game, you beat a certain mission and then you get access to like the next suits.
yeah. Right.
Where I think it'd be the same as like you go through this, you go to this dimension and complete the
Yeah.
story mission where you go to this dimension, now you get that, or you interact with that Spider-Man and now you get their suit.
I'll tell you what I'm a sucker for right now.
Okay.
Is sure you have armor sets or whatever like throughout games. I mean, there's a lot of games that do this. Spider-Man, we can talk about since we're still talking Spider-Man, but like you play a game, and I was pretty like for Spider-Man, I chose to use that Insomniac suit or whatever they call it
Yeah.
for the whole game until like at the end, spoilers, when you fight Doc Ock and they give you that suit to fight Doc Ock. And that felt like so good to me. To like
It does.
the first time I'm switching suits, this game is like putting on this suit that was made for this story portion of the game and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yes.
I mean, God of War
I
has just
love that.
an incredible one of those. Like, just there's so many good ones.
Oh wow.
So like that's probably how I'd play this, unless that was kind of weaved into the story. It's like, oh, you put on this suit in this world, this suit in this world could be kind of fun. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I can't effing wait for this game. Goodness gracious.
Vincent, tell me what we've been playing this week.
Okay, I've been playing a little game called Crab Champions on Steam.
Huh?
And I'm having the time of my life. Crab Champions is a roguelite where you play as a crab. And it is like Risk of Rain, but all crabs. And
That's
the
awesome.
movement is so good. The guns feel fantastic. I'm playing mouse and keyboard, having a blast, dude. I'm just doing a couple runs here and there, unlocking different
It does have
stuff.
online co-op.
Dude, and I haven't played co-op yet, and the call is out, James. The call is out. It's in early access right now. Anybody wants to play Crab Champions, let me know.
I'm putting out the call on my Discord server.
It's yeah. If you guys pick that up, I want in. I want in to play with y'all. Okay. I've only had one successful run on normal difficulty. It was pretty challenging at first, but now that I'm getting the hang of it, it's like feeling fantastic. So I've been playing that.
This looks great.
Yeah, it's cool, dude. It's really, really cool. Lots of great upgrades and stuff. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I have a little bit of a news thing.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077 got a big ray tracing update.
Yeah, I watched some footage. Looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks really good. Okay, keep going.
Cyberpunk's dope. And then besides Crab Champions, I've pulled the brakes on Destiny a little bit this week because I grinded a lot last week. So I've been playing Space for the Unbound instead as a little break. We talked about that one last week. A tad. That's that indie game. And then I tried out Meet Your Maker.
And?
Did not click at all, James. I turned this baby on and I am like, the movement is so stiff, so rigid that and you can't run. And it's all about like going through these bases and stuff. Really bummer for me.
Bad.
That's it. That's all I played.
Okay. Big news for me.
Yeah.
I upgraded to PS Plus Extra.
It's a golf clap.
$25 for the rest of my subscription. So I was like, fuck it. What did it for me was I wanted to play the Quarry because my partner wanted to play games with me. I bought her a controller this week. Got the Cosmic Red. It's gorgeous.
Dude, this is the pipeline. It's gamer boyfriend, indoctrinates gamer girl.
It's true.
Yeah.
And so the Quarry was like $30. And so I was like, okay, well, if it's 25 for me to upgrade to PlayStation Plus Extra, I can play the Quarry and I can play a bunch of other games. There might be other fun co-op games to play together.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then we got like a huge like lineup of great PlayStation Plus Extra games for next month, which I'm going to highlight a little bit.
Yeah.
We on April 18th, we got Kenna, Doom Eternal.
Ken is very difficult.
The Evil Within. Really?
So hard. Yeah.
Dude, Riders Republic.
Can't wait. I will buy it.
Fucking wait.
I'll buy that game.
But games that are leaving the service are Spider-Man, Resident Evil, and NBA 2K Playgrounds too. Along with some others, like the Metro games.
There has to be a reason. I'm sure there's a good reason.
I'm sad about it. Also, Horizon Forbidden West is on PS Plus Extra now, right?
It's premium, I think.
Oh, premium.
Maybe it is on extra. I don't know. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, you should play it. I'm excited to hear
I
what you
wanna I
think.
wanna play it.
Cause
I
it
saw that gameplay clip about the DLC and I was like, okay, I wanna give it a
that
shot.
was a good gameplay clip.
It was a good gameplay clip.
Yeah, it was a great gameplay clip. I'll say it.
Yeah,
Uh,
looked really fun.
I can't justify buying this DLC. It's tough, dude. I'm so in this weird spot with this game still. Like, it is gorgeous. It's beautiful. It plays so smooth. There's not a lot of glitches. But, like, I don't like how Aloy moves at all. And
Damn.
the combat's fun. The story is not fun. Opposite of fun. And people really gravitate to this story. But, like, I like to get invested in these stories. I was skipping cutscenes left and right. And I was trying. I was like,
Damn.
I literally, it was hard to get
Don't
through.
care. Just don't care.
But then I still got the platinum trophy, so it was fun enough to do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. It's
Damn.
it's probably like a
So,
7. I hate some aspects that people love about it.
okay. Okay, it's good to know. Okay, so back to what I'm playing. Jump back into God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, baby.
Back in the stride. I keep thinking about going back
Yeah, you
in.
do.
We're back to playing as Atreus. Little minor spoiler. We're in Asgard, just a little
Yes.
outing with Thor, and came back and like I gotta go do more stuff with the mask
Mm-hmm.
before. Oh, you know what? Maybe I think I just switched to Kratos.
Okay. After that,
Yeah, I switched back to Kratos.
yeah,
Um, and then so now I'm doing I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm
yeah,
back on his side. Great, so good, so compelling. Love the dynamic that I'm seeing with Atreus and all the other
yeah,
Asgardians
yeah, yeah,
and with Odin and the tension there, but Odin's like on his side and Thor said the thing about oh he was just like Balder and I
yep.
was like oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um so that's all so good.
I do
I
love that.
mentioned this briefly, but got back into the Quarry. I initially
Yeah,
played it on PS4, but now I'm going through it with my partner playing on PS5, and some of those character models are insane.
I
Dude,
want to
some of them
play
look
it, dude.
so good. Dude, upgrade to extra. It's like 25 bucks extra.
Okay,
And you could and it's one of those games I would like it is an extra game. Like I don't need to own this game. I just
sure.
need to play through it like
Yeah,
once
right.
and then I'm good. Call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so much fun.
Yeah,
It's so much fun. I love those like Quantic Dream style games.
right.
It's not Quantic Dream who did the Quarry,
No,
but it's in that vein. I
it's
played a little.
it's the people that did, um, oh my goodness, uh, the Until Dawn. They did Until Dawn.
Yeah, which
Uh,
is not Quantic Dream, but
no,
it's
Super Giant.
mass super giant,
Massive Giant? Super Giant?
super massive,
Super Massive. There we go. Yeah.
super massive.
We got there eventually.
We got there eventually. Played a little bit of Overcooked, All You Can Eat, with my partner,
How did that
and
go?
it's a little frustrating.
James, Overcooked is perfect for about 5 levels where it's easy, and then right when it becomes not easy anymore, it's hard. It don't
That
have a
game's
good
just
time.
hard.
Yeah.
It's a hard ass game. We would like never follow the game's instructions to like actually try and get it. We get like 2 3 orders done and it'd
Yeah.
be like we're
We
like
did it.
good. We got
That's
like we
fine.
did it. We
Yeah.
got did 2 to 3 orders.
Uh-huh.
Um but yeah, that's all I've been playing this week. It's been a really great time.
Good.
Always looking for more like little co-op and we like being a little competitive, so having games that are more
I mean, James, I'll tell you
like
right
are more
now.
accessible to, yeah, please.
It Takes Two.
Dude, I showed her the trailer and she thought it was really cute.
Uh,
So I want to get on it.
It Takes Two and A Way Out are bundled on sale right now for $15. Um,
Oh my God, really?
and yeah, I mean, Ali and I are like 10 hours into It Takes Two. It's great. It's good length. We play like once a week for like maybe an hour and a half or something like that. And
Hmm.
we're probably like 70% through the game. Tons of fun. It's
Wow.
great. One of the better co-op games like I've ever
Cool.
played. Yeah. There's a reason
Cool.
it won Game of the Year that year. It's crazy.
Oh. I almost forgot, Vincent.
Yeah.
I jumped into a little tiny indie game called Chia.
T-Chi. Yeah.
TCHIA.
Okay.
And this game could be one of my favorites of the year. It is so good, Vincent. It is like if you took
You
all
bastard.
of the movement and exploration of Breath of the Wild and just created a game around that. No
Yeah.
combat, just about doing little puzzles.
Yeah.
and like moving around the world. It's so cute. Like it's so contextualized. It's about this girl who is from an island off the coast of New Zealand, I think, if I
Security,
remember
yeah.
but it gives like a whole context around it, a whole like history of like who the people are around this
Yeah.
area, and like everything is inspired by like indigenous culture, and like the it uses the native language, and it has
The ukulele,
like
James.
local. Yeah, it has the ukulele, which is like, very reminiscent of The Last of Us. And
Sure.
there's like, oh my God, it's so good. Like everything feels everything, like when I talk about feeling, like going through that world, everything feels so good. There's this mechanic where you can climb up on palm trees, and then you can swing back and forth and then launch yourself and
Mm-hmm.
then glider. Every time feels so good.
Okay. You've convinced, and that's on extra
The
tier though. I can
climbing
play that.
feels, it's on extra. It's like $30, but you can play it on extra.
I should do that.
It's so bright and colorful.
I should really
You
do
can
that.
pet any animal in the game. It's just like my new comfort game.
Wow.
It's just, yeah, it is my comfort game.
Oh, this is great. That's great news because there was a lot of talk about it, and then I feel like I didn't hear anything. I don't really need. I didn't. I don't even know reviews of that game. You know. So this is great. I'm really glad that you're enjoying it
Let
because
me see.
it
Let me
makes me
see.
want
I
to
can
play.
find.
Regardless if it's good reviews or not, like it's out. It looks great. So it's like, oh, I'll
Mm-hmm.
try it out if I have extra tier for sure. That is all we have for episode 157. This is a great episode. I had a fantastic time today.
Mm-hmm. I
It was
did
great.
too, Vincent. It was fun. Very fun pod.
It's really good. And guys, if you haven't seen the Tears of the Kingdom trailer that dropped this morning, go watch that.
Go
It's
watch it.
really awesome. It is really, really awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Any final words?
No.
Amazing.
Thank you, everybody.
We'll see you next week for episode. Okay, next week, 158, I will be here, but 159, Ryder's taking
It's
over
gonna
for
be
me
lighter.
because I will be driving across the country. Okay, bye, everybody. Peace
Oh my
out.
God.
Love y'all.